Hey guys, welcome back to Nurse Deja, and for those who are new, thank you for tuning in. So today we're going to talk about 5 things that you can do to come back from a nursing exam that you failed. So raise your hand if you failed a nursing exam. Hi, my name is Deja and I failed a nursing exam. Woo! Okay, I know exactly where you guys have been. I have failed a couple of exams in my nursing career, and I'm going to tell you guys how to bounce back and that it's okay and not to worry, all right? By the way, let me give some little discredit. This is for people who have studied and then failed, not like didn't study and then failed. Okay, like this is for people who actually did try and put forth an effort, and then failed. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. All right, so the first thing I want you guys to do is some people don't even stay for the review of their exam. That is really something very, 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 very important, okay? When you are going over your test with your whole class, which I don't know if everybody does that, but my university did. So when you're going over a test, you need to make sure you're asking as many questions as possible. I was that one that was always raising my hand. People kind of probably got irritated with me, but I didn't really care. If my questions started to get into a point where it was like question after question, I would go to my tip two that I'm about to give you guys. But if you don't even stay for the review, it's really smart to stay for the review, okay? Things that they're going to go over in the review is questions that are commonly missed. Recommend to see a view of the whole room. This is where you see if like other people miss the same questions that you miss. And if that's the case, sometimes the teacher may throw it out, or you can see who passes it. Some people, they'll be like, oh, I'm doing good. Those are the people that you need to study with, right? So that was tip number 1. Make sure you stay for your review, okay? Tip number 2 is to make an appointment with your professor, okay? Why make an appointment with your professor? Maybe you didn't get to ask those questions that was on the exam because it was just so many people, and you was kind of nervous, right? So one thing you need to do is make sure you go over every single question that you got wrong. You need to understand why you got it wrong, why that's the right answer, and why did you think that way. And even do this for questions that you just, luckily got right, like that you guessed, because you still need to know that, because what will happen is it's going to come back up on the midterm or on the final exam, and I don't want you to make the same mistake and answer it the same way you answered it on the first exam. You need to know the difference, right? Also, one thing I would do is show the professor how you're studying. Show them what you did, and maybe they can tweak it, help you, because at the end of the day, they're either writing the test or finding the questions to be on the test. So they may be able to let you know, like, hey, you should be focusing on this instead of this, okay? You may have put too much emphasis on the wrong part of the exam that she didn't want you to do. So showing the professor how you're studying, so they can edit that, and then asking the questions that you missed, that is really important, okay? All right, so when you're meeting with the professor, okay, make sure you plan what your test grades for the future need to be so you can pass, okay? You need to just have that in the back of your mind, like, okay, this is the grade I need to get in order to pass the class. Just have that. Tip number 3, you guys, this is gonna get into study groups, okay? I know I wasn't a big study group person. What I recommend for those who aren't a big study group person is to study independently. I think everybody really should study independently first, because there's no reason to come to a group with not having any knowledge or anything or any background, right? So study independently first. Then find a group that is passing. You don't want to get in a group that is failing. Like, y'all can't be failing and try to study together. Like, I don't think that's gonna equate to y'all passing. So get with a study group get with people who are already passing, okay? They don't necessarily have to have the best grade. Make sure their grade is better than yours or somewhere around where you want to be, right? Okay, so after you found your group, it's really good to study with a group, because they will bring out things that you just may not independently think about. They bring out ideas, they may bring out scenarios, and that will all help you tie in. They may make you think a different way. They may be discussing a topic, and then they go into something that you just completely skipped over when you were studying independently. So the purpose of a study group is to hear those ideas from other people, hear them twice, and then just being able to talk about it, because you guys all will have the same experience. You all guys have the same book, you all have the same teacher, you're all there for the same lecture. So having somebody to relate to, having that group just to discuss that information with will be really good for you guys. Okay, it'll be really helpful. You'll learn that, wow, like I never would have thought about that if I didn't go to the group. It was plenty of times I was on a test and I'd be like, thank God I was in that group, because I would have never known that answer to the test. Okay, all right, so tip number 4 that I'm going to give you guys is to make sure you watch YouTube videos. Okay, so what YouTube videos do is it takes the information that is pertinent to that topic, but what it does is it'll see a crossover from the YouTube video and your lecture, right? So there's going to be things that the YouTube video also rediscusses that your teacher already did, right? That is just going to be more repetition for you to get in your head, like, okay, this is important. When you see that the YouTube video went over it and your teacher went over it, that just must be a common principality, right? It must be just something that is really important, because not only did it's not just specialized to your teacher anymore, it's now just universal, right? One other good thing about YouTube videos, like Sarah the registered nurse, she has questions at the end of her video. Okay, those questions relate to the topic, and also she gives a she goes into detail that your teacher may not have time to go into detail, right? Sarah the registered nurse, or just not any YouTuber that is an educator, goes more in depth into what the topic is than maybe your teacher is allowed to, because she doesn't have that time, because you should just read the book. That's probably what she'll say. But anyway, so that's what the YouTuber is helpful for. So tip number 5, I think I really wanted to emphasize to you guys, is your book will have something called a test bank. A test bank is basically questions that the book have came up with for each chapter, and it is specialized to their book, their content, and they give the rationales for the questions. Okay, now, this is really good and really helpful to test your content. Test if you know what you know. Test if you you understand that topic. And if you don't understand the topic, you're able to go back because you're testing yourself beforehand, right? Doing test questions is always good before an exam, because it gives you kind of like a view of what your instructor may be testing you on, right? And if it's the book's text based, this is really what they should be testing you on, because it's the book, okay? And one good thing about the test bank is very cheap. It's usually like less than $3 on eBay. In my class, most of the time, one person got it, and then we just shared it with everybody. The test bank is good for its rationales. They're really, really good for having the rationale for why that question is right. So those are my 5 tips for you guys. I'm just going to go over them one more time. Stay for the review. Meet with your professor, study groups, YouTube, and test banks. That's it, y'all. That is it, okay? Once you do all of these things, it will all start to click together, okay? And even if you have a problem with it still not clicking, like let's say you understand the topic, but you're not understanding how to pull it all in together. This is my last and final tip. It's going to be one more tip. I'm going to give it in there because it just came on the top of my head. Is that I had that same problem. And what I would do is find people that are already nurses. Find people that are already nurses, because they had that experience. They had that experience and they had that knowledge. So they're able to tie it in for you. They're able to give you scenarios for why you need to know this, because this happened, okay? And if you don't know where to get find somebody that's already a nurse, you have teachers, you have professors, you have clinical instructors. Use them. They're here to help you. Use their brain, rack their brain, do whatever you need to do to pull it in together. Okay, guys? So those are my 6 tips that I'm giving you guys. I hope this is very helpful. I know you guys can do it. I know how hard it is. Trust me, I went through it. I understand. I've cried with you. I will be there with you, but I know you guys can do it, okay? I hope you're able to take heed and apply this to your practice. I hope this helps you. You can do it. I support you. I believe in you. You can do it. Keep praying, keep telling yourself you can do it, and keep studying, and follow these 6 tips, and you will be okay, okay? All right, you guys, stay tuned for my next video. Always, Deja, Nurse Dej, and Native Love. Follow me, and always stay tuned on Thursdays for a new video. I hope you guys like this video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.